National and local combined cop efforts are catching some of the most wanted criminals in the United States.
Operation Falcon sweeps the nation looking for criminals. Good morning. It is 6:30 on Friday, July 10th. We'll have more on this story in just a moment and continue our exclusive coverage.
This is a hell of a fire.
A 3-alarm fire destroyed a historic Eagle Point building, and investigators suspect arson.
The fire started around 7 last night, and smoke could be seen for miles. We'll have more on the Eagle Point fire in just a few minutes.
Joining us today, filling in for Derek Kevra, and Scott's out at the balloon rally near the Medford Airport, Crater Lake Highway. And Scott, sounds like things are really starting to fire up out there.
Yeah, that sound that resembles a lawnmower is actually a portable fan that inflates the balloons with air before they put the hot air in that gives them the lift. We're at the hot air balloon rally out near the Medford Airport. They're getting ready to launch right now. Looks like you can see some of the canopies inflating behind us.
Yeah, hoping we can get a live shot from out at the balloon rally. There he is, waving at us. Flying away.
Moment of reckoning, brother.
Okay, here we go.
We gotta take the rubber bands
coming off. Okay.
Ooh.
Chocolate.
Chocolate everywhere.
Hey, that's perfect.
That's why you wore white. Okay, we gotta set it down. I'm gonna take this little guy and I gotta pry it up just a little bit.
You do what you have to do.
Crack the seal.
You're the master.
I'm gonna crack the seal. We're gonna see if we did it right on live TV. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
We've got eggs.
Looks beautiful.
You think so?
Was this the side with the gold? Because I can see a bit of a gold tint here. Okay.
Yep, that's the pattern.
Okay.
Oh yeah, nice eggs.
These feel good. They look good.
And they're done.
And these are hollow eggs.
They're hollow.
And can we break one? Can we see just how thick the chocolate is? I know we just
Sure, you do it.
Okay.
Push your thumbs through it. Pretty thick, huh? Oh man, good job. Outstanding.
Good morning. It's 5 o'clock on Friday, February 20th. Welcome to Newswatch 12 this morning. I'm Ashley Hall. Ron Brown is off today. The temperatures outside are 36 degrees in Medford, 25 degrees in Klamath Falls. Meteorologist Derek Kevra is live at the KDRV Sportsman's Outdoor Recreation Show. And Derek, boy, that is a very fun event, and today's weather could be perfect for doing something outdoorsy.
Yeah, I really think it is going to be, Ashley. Temperatures overall today will be close to what we saw yesterday, but it looks like we're going to see a few extra clouds. Now, yesterday we did reach over 60 in Medford, and we'll get close to that today, but expect some changes to come our way by this weekend. Let's take a look at what's going on with the one on its way here. That's coming up a little bit later on in the show, and of course, we'll be having a good time playing around at the 9th Annual Sportsman and Outdoor Recreation Show. Back to you.
Oregon Governor Ted Kulongoski says teachers should work without pay to keep schools open through the end of the year. K-12 is the second largest employer in Oregon. Representatives from the Oregon Education Association say investing in education and other human services could stabilize the economy quicker than saving funds for worse economic times.
Well, what we do know is that the legislature and the governor have the tools to support schools and other vital services this year to avoid drastic cuts. They do have some federal stimulus money as well as the reserve and rainy day funds to help mitigate the damage that could be caused in such a compressed timeline.
Governor Kulongoski is saying that he will veto any bill that attempts to use the rainy day funds or the education stabilization funds during his legislative term. Oregon Governor Kulongoski and thousands of government workers will be seeing their salaries frozen or even reduced as the state looks at ways to trim the budget. About 5,000 state managers will be forced to take up to 4 furlough days beginning March 1st. The changes will save the state about $6 million. The governor announced the plan at a conference yesterday while thanking state employees for their commitment to Oregon. The cuts will not affect union represented employees who are currently in negotiations with the state. If they were to take the same cut, the state would save more than $120 million during the 2009-2011 biennium. And Governor Kulongoski also discussed the upcoming stimulus money. He says that there must be a measured plan in place for spending it. He's calling it a 20-40-40 plan. The governor suggested spreading the money out over the next 3 fiscal years by spending 20% of the stimulus funds, or $450 million, on the current fiscal year to balance the budget. He would also like to spend 40% or $900 million on the next 2 fiscal years to keep the budgets operating normally. California lawmakers finally came together and passed a budget plan. Governor Schwarzenegger says state lawmakers were courageous in approving a combination of tax hikes and spending cuts to close the state's massive budget deficit. The legislature approved the budget balancing package early yesterday morning. It's intended to close California's $42 billion deficit through June 2010. Schwarzenegger, a Republican, praised the package of bills passed by the Democratic-controlled Senate and Assembly. He says Democrats compromised on their opposition to deep spending cuts, while some Republican lawmakers set aside their opposition to tax increases. He calls the legislature's work after a grueling week of all-night sessions, quote, difficult but courageous and just what California needs. New jobless claims are as high as they've been since the 1980s, with February shaping up to be another brutal month for workers. The brutality continues on Wall Street, where the Dow fell yesterday to its lowest level in more than 6 years. But the markets also anticipate better times.
Stock prices tend to bottom out about 5 months ahead of the end of the recession. They also tend to bottom out around 8 months ahead of the peak in unemployment.
But exactly when the recession ends is still anyone's guess. President Obama focuses today on Main Street, meeting with at least 85 mayors to discuss putting the stimulus to work. Some experts in Southern Oregon say President Obama's housing relief plan may skip over those in desperate need of refinancing to avoid foreclosure. There are also provisions to provide major incentives to those hoping to purchase a home. Experts say the housing plan will help people trying to buy homes by freeing up cash, and it could help sellers by increasing the number of people able to buy homes.
There's an $8,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers. There had been a tax credit that had been in law previously, but it wasn't really a true tax credit. You had to repay it over time. What this legislation does is make it a true tax credit, so it makes it easier for people to get into their homes.
The National Association of Realtors is forecasting a 15 to 20% increase in the number of home sales, and hopefully bringing the economy up with it. More details about the housing relief plan will be released in the next few weeks. A prominent Southern Oregon businessman and community member says he is guilty of online sex crimes with underage girls. Kelly Rasmussen made that plea in a Clackamas County Circuit Court yesterday. Rasmussen pled guilty to 2 counts of first-degree online sexual corruption of a minor, and 3 other counts are reported to be active. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office says Rasmussen started pursuing one of the girls back in July and then the other in September. He's scheduled to be sentenced April 3rd. Years of battling over the removal of gravel from the Applegate River is now involving Governor Kulongoski. The governor has appointed Jackson County Commissioner C.W. Smith and Josephine County Commissioner Dwight Ellis to head up a solutions team. Some 40 representatives of state and federal agencies, counties, and citizens groups are all working to develop a plan for mining aggregate without harming the river ecosystem.
Everybody that's in the room needs to agree that they're going to not keep their feet planted in concrete on their issue, that they're going to listen to all sides of the issue and hopefully at the end come together in a cooperative agreement.
Ellis and Commissioner Smith say they need to have the framework for the agreement by July. One alternative is to open up the upper end of Applegate Lake to gravel removal. All schools in Josephine County will soon have automatic external defibrillators, or AEDs. They're devices that provide a shock to someone experiencing heart failure, and that can save a life. To pay for the defibrillators, 2 Grants Pass women teamed up with Evergreen Bank. They handed out wooden hearts that community members decorated. Evergreen then donated $1 for each heart that came back, which ended up being $5,000. Then they sold the hearts for $5 apiece to raise a combined total of more than $9,000. They're planning on repeating this effort again next year. And this weekend is the KDRV Outdoor and Recreation Show, and meteorologist Derek Kevra is live at the event. Derek, last time you were with some nice big boats. Where are you now?
Well, we're moving around. We've moved on to the ATV section. There's a few dirt bikes around me. Looks like those mini scooters that were incredibly popular for a long time. I think they're still obviously popular. There's a few of them here. And then, of course, there's a bunch of different names for these things. 4-wheelers, ATVs. My cameraman said a different name earlier, but a lot of fun stuff going on down here. The interesting thing, all of this stuff is for sale. And that's what's so great about this show this weekend. Now, the doors will open today starting at noon, and then it stays open all weekend. It's only $5 to get in, and there is so much stuff to do here. I guarantee that you will stay busy. We'll have more actual information on what's happening for the show coming up. Coming up, we're going to be moving around. We'll have more stuff to show you, more information for you, and of course, more weather updates. Back to you.
And coming up, we'll hear about a best-selling author who's making her books available electronically. Plus, Derek is still live at the KDRV Sportsman's and Outdoor Recreation Show, and we'll continue to give you a preview of that big event. But first, let's take a live look outside on the Newswatch 12 Weather Cam Network, courtesy of AirportChevy.com. Watching out for you, this is Newswatch 12 this morning. Welcome back to Newswatch 12 this morning. The time is 5:13 and the temperature is 32 degrees in Medford, 25 degrees in Klamath Falls. Ron Brown's off today, and meteorologist Derek Kevra is live at the fairgrounds in Central Point, the Jackson County Fairgrounds, where this weekend is the annual, it's the 9th annual KDRV Sportsman's and Outdoor Recreation Show. Big title because there are a lot of events there.
Yeah, and I think actually the official name includes KDRV somewhere in there, but it's long enough as it is already.
Which is what I said.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We've been running up and down these aisles. I'm a little out of breath right now, and I probably obviously can't hear as well as I normally do. Well, we're on a Harley now. This is one of the nicest bikes I've ever seen, and I've recently started to become obsessed with Harley Davidsons. I don't own one. I'd like to own one, but I don't own one yet. Unfortunately, the backdrop, not the most beautiful thing. But we're surrounded by beauty here, and you'll get a chance to see more of that coming up later on in the newscast. Let's take a look at the weather out there this morning. Running somewhere else. Cameraman with me this morning, Ashley Mike. We're both working up a little bit of a sweat here.
Well, you guys are working hard, but you're doing a good job there at the Jackson County Fairgrounds. Now, Derek, I wanted to remind people when this show is going on so they can go in and see for themselves all the really cool things that you're getting to experience this morning.
Sure. Doors open today at noon, and actually one of the most impressive shows this year is the Wildcats, the Predators event, and that one, the first show starts at about 1 o'clock, I think. I'll have to double check all those figures, but then it's open on Saturday and it's open on Sunday as well. I'll have the exact times for you coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Derek. A new website that teaches people to use Google instead of just asking annoying questions, plus other technology news with Jeremy Hubbard in this morning's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, some of the top shows on cable could soon be available online. The Wall Street Journal reports major cable companies and TV networks want to form their own website to air their programs. The new service is a response to sites like Hulu, which offer TV shows for free. But this new site would not be free. It would only be available to cable subscribers. Well, best-selling author Danielle Steel is joining the ebook revolution. 71 of her novels will be made available digitally starting Tuesday. John Grisham and Tom Clancy recently agreed to make their novels available electronically. Privacy is a major concern among people joining Facebook. Many subscribers wonder if their personal information will be shared with everyone on the site. USA Today personal tech columnist Ed Begg has some advice to make sure your boss doesn't see something only intended for your friends.
You can actually apply different settings to very specific people. Now, a friend of mine has other advice worth heeding before you post any information. Would you be upset if your mom saw it? Would you be upset if your worst enemy saw it? Would you be upset if it was on the front page of USA Today? Bottom line, it's all a balancing act. But remember, what good is a social network if you're not willing to be social?
And you can find more tips on making the most of Facebook on USA Today's website. Finally, are you tired of getting asked questions a simple Google search could answer? A new site called Let Me Google That For You is the perfect response the next time someone asks you something as simple as, who is Hannah Montana? All you do is type that question into the site, hit enter, and they'll give you a link. Send that link to the person who asked you the question, and it will show them how to run a Google search, and hopefully then they won't bother you about it again. For information on all these stories, log on to the technology page of abcnews.com. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Jeremy Hubbard.
Coming up, the Fed is predicting a shrinkage in the economy this year, and unemployment rates are at the highest since 1967. We'll have more business news after the break. But right now, let's take a live look outside on the Newswatch 12 Weather Cam Network, brought to you by AirportChevy.com. Watching out for you, this is Newswatch 12 this morning. Welcome back to Newswatch 12 this morning. We're taking a live view outside on the Newswatch 12 Weather Cam network. The time is 5:22. It's 32 degrees in Medford, 25 degrees in Klamath Falls. Wall Street slumped to its lowest level in 6 years as investors fear a longer and deeper than expected recession. Stan Case has more in this morning's Business Brief.
Stocks slipped Thursday as the Dow dropped to its lowest closing level since October of 2002. The Dow fell more than 1% to end at 7,465. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 also lost more than 1%. Gloomy economic reports on unemployment and manufacturing have investors fearing a deeper recession lasting even longer than expected. The Federal Reserve issued an updated economic forecast late Wednesday, and not surprising, it isn't good. The Fed predicts the economy will shrink as much as 1.3% this year. Back in October, the central bank had predicted the economy would only contract by 0.2%. The unemployment rate is expected to climb to almost 9% from 7.6% now. New unemployment numbers released Thursday show continuing jobless claims at their highest level since the government started keeping track in 1967. Just under 5 million people are currently getting unemployment benefits. And while new jobless claims for last week remained unchanged, that number is still well above 600,000. The price of oil surged 14% Thursday after the government reported supplies edged down slightly last week for the first time in 2 months. Light sweet crude for March delivery rose more than 14% to settle at $39.48 a barrel. For Business Brief, I'm Stan Case.
Coming up, the box office this weekend is full of comedies for just about everyone. We'll have a preview of new movie releases next. But right now, let's take a live look outside on the Newswatch 12 Weather Cam network, brought to you by AirportChevy.com. Watching out for you, this is Newswatch 12 this morning. Welcome back to Newswatch 12 this morning. We're taking a live look outside on the Newswatch 12 Weather Cam network. The time is 5:26, 35 degrees in Medford, 25 degrees in Klamath Falls. Medea's back, and this time she's in trouble with police. Here's Jim Ribble with the scoop and Now Showing.
She's going to jail this time. I ain't going.
Tyler Perry's well-known character, Medea, is back. And this time, she's in trouble with the law.